An American tourist in Rome stood directly in front of the Trevi Fountain, blocking dozens of people, trying to get the perfect selfie shot. When a local politely asked her to move aside, she snapped back, "I paid good money to be here. I deserve my photo opportunity." She spent 20 minutes posing while the crowd grew increasingly frustrated behind her today at this historic landmark. At a sacred temple in Kyoto, an American man climbed over the rope barrier to touch an ancient artifact on display. A monk rushed over, clearly distressed. The American shrugged. "I just wanted a closer look." "That's what it's here for, right?" The monk explained it was a protected religious item. The American seemed annoyed that he couldn't get his Instagram shot for his social media. I watched an American family at the Taj Mahal complain loudly that there was no air conditioning inside. "It's so hot here," the mother said. "How do they expect tourists to enjoy this?" Her husband agreed. "In America, we'd have cooling systems." The guide explained it's a 17th century mausoleum. The family seemed to think that was just poor planning. An American couple in Paris demanded that a local cafe serve them breakfast at 3 p.m. today. "But we want pancakes now," the wife insisted. The waiter explained they only serve lunch at this hour. The husband raised his voice. "The customer is always right. Make an exception for us." The waiter calmly refused. They left a 1-star review about poor service and bad attitudes. At Machu Picchu, an American tourist asked the guide why there weren't any handrails on the steep paths. "This seems dangerous," he complained. "Someone could sue." The guide explained they preserve the site's authenticity. The American responded, "But what about accessibility? In America, this wouldn't pass inspection." He seemed to think OSHA regulations applied to ancient Incan ruins in Peru. I overheard an American woman at the Great Wall of China complain about the lack of elevators. "How are elderly people supposed to get up here?" she asked loudly. A local explained it's an ancient wall. The woman huffed. "Well, they should modernize it. Add escalators. It's the 21st century." She couldn't understand preservation over convenience for tourists here. An American man in Barcelona's Sagrada Familia kept taking flash photos despite clear signs prohibiting it. When security approached, he argued, "I paid for my ticket. I should be able to take pictures however I want." Security explained flash damages the artwork. He muttered about his rights being violated. Other visitors apologized for his behavior to the staff members there. At a traditional tea ceremony in Tokyo, an American couple kept checking their phones and taking calls. When the host politely asked them to silence their devices, the wife said, "But what if something important happens? We can't just disconnect." The host explained it's part of the ceremony. They left early, complaining about being forced to unplug for 30 minutes. An American tourist in Venice demanded that a gondolier take a different route because the canal smelled bad. "Can't you go somewhere nicer?" he asked. The gondolier explained these are the historic waterways of Venice. The American responded, "Well, someone should clean them up. This isn't very romantic." He expected Venice to smell like a resort pool or something fresh. I was at Stonehenge when an American family complained that the stones weren't arranged in a more photogenic way. "It's just random rocks," the teenage daughter said. Her father agreed. "They should reorganize them. Make it more interesting." The guide stared in disbelief. "These are 5,000-year-old monuments." The family didn't understand why that mattered at all today. An American woman at the Louvre asked a security guard why the Mona Lisa was so small here. "I expected something bigger," she complained. "Can you get me a larger version?" The guard explained it's an original painting from 1503. She suggested they commission a bigger copy for tourists. "Make it more impressive looking." The guard had no words left to say to her. At the Sistine Chapel, an American tourist loudly complained about the no-talking rule. "This is ridiculous," he said at full volume. "How am I supposed to discuss the art with my family?" Guards repeatedly shushed him. He kept talking, insisting his freedom of speech was being violated here. He seemed to think the First Amendment applied in Vatican City. Other visitors were mortified by behavior. An American couple in Santorini demanded that locals move their laundry from balconies before sunset today. "It's ruining our photos," the wife explained. "We came here for the perfect shot." A resident politely said this is where people actually live. The husband offered money. Just for 20 minutes? They couldn't grasp that this wasn't a movie set designed for tourists, or a photo studio for them. I watched an American man at the Acropolis in Athens climb on ancient ruins for a photo opportunity. When guards yelled at him, he shouted back, "I'm just taking a picture. Relax." Guards explained these are 3,000-year-old structures. He seemed to think they were being unreasonably strict about old buildings and stones that have been here forever. An American family in Edinburgh complained that the castle was too old and dark inside. "Where are the lights?" the mother asked. "This is depressing." The tour guide explained it's a medieval fortress preserved historically. The father suggested they add some LED strips. "Make it more cheerful." The guide's expression showed complete disbelief at the suggestion from the family today. At a Buddhist monastery in Thailand, an American tourist interrupted a prayer session to ask for directions. The monks continued praying. She raised her voice. "Excuse me, I need help." A novice monk quietly approached after prayers. She complained about the wait. In America, customer service comes first. She couldn't understand that this wasn't a tourist information center at all. An American couple at Angkor Wat arrived at 3 p.m. and complained that the best light was gone. "Why doesn't the temple open earlier?" the husband demanded. The guide explained it opens at 5 a.m. daily. The wife responded, "But that's too early for us. They should adjust hours for tourists." They wanted the ancient temple to accommodate their sleep schedule and personal preferences always here. I overheard an American woman at the Alhambra complain about too many stairs. "This isn't wheelchair accessible," she said. "How is this legal?" A guide explained it's a 9th century palace. She insisted they need to install ramps. It's discrimination. The guide tried explaining historical preservation laws here. She threatened to report them to someone in authority about this issue. An American man in Prague asked a local why everyone didn't speak English better. "You're a tourist city," he said. "You should hire English speakers only." The local replied in perfect English that this is their country. The American doubled down. "But tourism is your main industry, right?" He genuinely believed the city existed primarily to serve American tourists today. At the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, an American teenager complained about being bored. "This is depressing," she said loudly. "Where's the fun stuff?" Her parents shushed her half-heartedly. Another visitor confronted them. "This is a Holocaust memorial." The father responded, "We're paying customers. She can express herself." They seemed to think everything was entertainment for their enjoyment, always. An American woman at the Blue Lagoon in Iceland complained that the water wasn't warm enough for her. "Can you turn up the heat?" she asked staff. They explained it's a natural geothermal spring at its natural temperature. She insisted they must have controls somewhere. "This is a spa, right?" She couldn't grasp the concept of uncontrolled natural phenomena that exist in nature without any controls. I watched an American family in Pompeii complain that the ruins were too ruined. "Why haven't they rebuilt it?" the father asked. "It's just rubble." The guide explained it's an archaeological site preserved as found. The mother suggested they reconstruct everything. Make it look new again. Like a theme park. The guide looked exhausted by the questions today from them. An American couple at Neuschwanstein Castle complained about the limited tour times. "We should be able to explore freely," the husband said. "This is too restrictive." Staff explained it's a protected historical site with limited capacity. The wife argued, "But we drove 4 hours. They should make exceptions." They expected special treatment for traveling and making the effort to visit. At a sacred site in Bali, an American tourist wore a bikini despite clear dress code signs posted. When asked to cover up, she refused. "It's too hot," she complained. "This is ridiculous." Staff explained it's a religious site requiring modest dress here. She argued about her rights. "I'm not even religious. Why should I follow your rules at all? She couldn't respect local customs today. An American man at the Colosseum asked why they didn't reenact gladiator fights for tourists anymore today. That would be so cool, he said. The guide explained it's a memorial to those who died there. He suggested hiring actors. Just for entertainment purposes. Make it interactive for guests. The guide declined to engage further with this suggestion today at all. I was guiding a tour at Auschwitz when an American family asked if there was a gift shop available. We want souvenirs, the mother explained. I gently explained this is a Holocaust memorial. The father seemed confused. But don't all attractions have gift shops here? I explained this isn't an attraction. They left disappointed by the lack of merchandise available to purchase here today at site. An American woman at the Northern Lights in Norway complained they weren't colorful enough. I've seen better in photos, she said. Can't you enhance them somehow? The guide explained they're a natural phenomenon. She suggested using lights or projectors. Make them more impressive. The guide tried explaining you can't artificially enhance the aurora borealis. At Christ the Redeemer in Rio, an American tourist climbed the barrier for a photo at the statue's feet. Security rushed over. He argued, everyone does this on Instagram. Security explained it's illegal and dangerous. He complained about being singled out. Other tourists are doing it too. He pointed at respectful visitors behind the barriers. An American couple at the Galapagos Islands tried to pet a sea lion despite ranger warnings. But it's so cute, the wife insisted. The ranger explained these are protected wild animals. The husband responded, we paid a lot for this tour. We should be able to interact more. They treated endangered species like petting zoo animals designed for their entertainment. I overheard an American family at the pyramids of Giza complain about the heat and sand everywhere. Why did they build these in the desert? The son asked. The father agreed. Poor planning. Should have picked a better location. The guide overheard and looked stunned. These are 4,000-year-old monuments. They didn't understand ancient planning considerations at all today. An American woman at Big Ben demanded they ring the bells on demand for her video. I need the sound for my content, she explained. Staff explained the bells ring on schedule. She offered money. Just once? For 30 seconds? They declined. She complained about inflexibility. In America, we accommodate customers. She genuinely thought historical landmarks should perform on request. At the Leaning Tower of Pisa, an American man suggested they fix it. Just straighten it out, he said. It looks unstable. A guide explained the lean is what makes it historically significant. He responded, but it's dangerous looking. They should repair it properly. He couldn't understand that the famous lean was intentionally preserved. An American couple in Kyoto's bamboo forest complained about other tourists ruining their photos. Can you close this area? The wife asked. Just for 10 minutes? Staff explained it's a public walking path. The husband offered payment. We'll make it worth your while. They couldn't accept that nature wasn't a private photo studio today. I watched an American tourist at the Dead Sea complain that floating wasn't as easy as advertised. This is harder than it looks, he said. Can someone help me float? The guide explained its natural buoyancy. Just relax. He wanted detailed instructions. Like a tutorial. Show me how. He expected nature to come with customer support and clear instructions always. An American family at Windsor Castle asked why the Queen wasn't there to meet them. We came all this way, the father explained. The staff explained Her Majesty doesn't greet individual tourists. The mother seemed offended. We're Americans. Doesn't that matter? The staff maintained their professionalism. The family left negative reviews about poor hospitality. At Petra in Jordan, an American woman complained about the walk from the entrance. Why isn't there a shuttle? She asked breathlessly. This is too far. Guides explained walking through the sick is part of the experience. She insisted they should install moving walkways. Like at airports. Make it accessible. She wanted ancient paths modernized for convenience immediately today. An American man at Ha Long Bay in Vietnam complained that the water wasn't clear enough. I expected turquoise, he said. This looks murky. The guide explained natural water conditions vary. He suggested they filter it somehow. Clean it up for tourists. The guide explained you can't filter an entire bay. He seemed disappointed. I was at the cliffs of Mahar when an American couple complained about the wind and rain. Can't you do something about the weather? They asked staff. This is ruining our trip. Staff explained Ireland's weather is unpredictable. The wife suggested building a dome. Control the climate better. They genuinely thought weather should be managed for tourist satisfaction and comfort. An American tourist at the Palace of Versailles complained about the crowds. Why do you let so many people in? He demanded. It's too crowded. Staff explained it's a popular historical site. He suggested implementing a reservation system for Americans only. We travel farther. We should get priority. Other tourists stared at him in complete disbelief at his entitled attitude. At Chichen Itza in Mexico, an American woman complained that the pyramid climbing was prohibited. But that's the whole point, she protested. I wanted to climb up. Guards explained it's to preserve the structure. She argued that her vacation was ruined. They should let some people up. Just make a schedule. She expected ancient Mayan ruins to accommodate her. Guards remained firm with all the rules.